What's up, cats and dolls? This is your boy Tai Chunn, and you can catch me every morning at 10 a.m. on Party 101.9 iHeart Radio, The Matrix Studio, and WTAI Radio. Pull up on me, y'all. I'm Tai Chunn, and you're listening to A Fashion Moment with Tai Chunn. Garçon, bring me another bottle. Welcome back to A Fashion Moment with Tai Chunn. I am your boy Tai Chunn. And oh my God, it is Tuesday, July 22nd. And I cannot believe that I am saying that it is Tuesday, July 22nd. I don't know where the time has gone. Time, see what's become of me. Look around, feel the sound. So this is your boy Tai Chunn on A Fashion Moment with Tai Chunn on Party 101.9 iHeart Radio and the Matrix Studio and Network. I just wanted, to first of all get you guys ready. So let's get the thunderous claps going, and everybody holds on to your seats because we have a legend in the building. So let's get some claps up in the building for this legendary guest. That is a 3-part interview. Let's get some claps up for you. Yes, so we have Mr. Angelo Ellerbee in the building. And I mean, we want to talk about legends. He's worked with some of the greatest in the industry, and he has a wonderful project that he is working on. And for the first time in A Fashion Moment with Tai Chunn history, we are doing a 3-part interview because he's so legendary and because he's done so much in his career that we, like my dad used to say, sounds so nice, gotta play it twice. But I'm going to double on that and say, sounds so nice, we got to play Mr. Ellerbee thrice. Welcome to A Fashion Moment with Tai Chunn. How you doing, Angelo?
I am blessed and highly favored. Thank you so much, and to all of your followers for listening to and watching what would be this wonderful 3-part interview with you, Tai.
Absolutely. So here at A Fashion Moment with Tai Chunn, what we normally do is we open up with a Tai rant. And my Tai rants, they go from anything that's happening in my life that day that, I wanted to kind of go off about, or something that's happening in society and all that kind of stuff, what have you. But I am going to bypass that because I want to be able to spend every second in studentship, if that's a word. If not, we can add it to the Thaiisms, because I'm always making up words here or whatever. In studentship of you, my brother, because this is such a great find and a great interview to be having, and I'm so appreciative. So we're going to bypass all that and we're going to jump in to everything that is you. So Angelo, we for our listeners who are under the age of 3 who don't know who you are, because if not, you got to be under a rock somewhere or something. Please tell our audience who you are.
Sure. My name is Angelo Antonio Ellerbee. I am the president and CEO of Double Exposure Media. We're celebrating 55 years as one of the premier publicity and artist development firms. My firm has represented from Michael Jackson to Whitney Houston to Alicia Keys to Mary J. Blige to Genuine to Soul For Real to Jodeci to DMX, and the list is continuous. And I just want to thank you for taking your time to have a conversation with me today. So I thank you again.
Yes, absolutely. You guys, you heard those legendary names, so you know that I wasn't joking about this interview and why you can see it as a 3-part. So I want to start out with the earlier years of when you first started in the industry, and then I'm going to circle back to some things. There's some things that I do that are really tricky in interviews and stuff like that because I'm an empath. So I always go and once I hear you tell like your earlier years, I ask that same person age that comes up to me when I hear you speaking, and you'll tell me about what was going on during that time.
Sure.
All of that. So let's jump into the earlier part of your career. Starting out in the industry, how did you start out? Intern? Were you a coffee boy? Like, how did you start out?
Born and raised by the most phenomenal woman in the world, my mother, Eva Ellerbee.
Mm-hmm.
Raised with 4 phenomenal sisters and 2 brothers.
Mm-hmm.
growing up in the greatest city in the world that I call Newark, New Jersey.
Brooklyn.
Well, that's your great city. Newark is my great and the greatest city for me. And I appreciate that. I say to everyone because Newark and its mayors and its municipality saw me through my education. There was an incredible mayor of the city of Newark by the name of Sharp James who saw my vision.
Wow.
And in seeing my vision, he supported me from day one that I met him as I was a student in high school and working for what they called back in the day the Speedy Program. And the Speedy Program is very much to what these kids are going through today in this summer months.
Right.
To give disadvantaged children opportunities to raise their own money and to earn their own money. And I was working as a janitor in the city of Newark. And these are the assignments that they give you. My assignment was to wash down the walls in City Hall. Thus, I washed down the walls in City Hall.
Wow.
And I saw the mayor came in. He said, young man. If anyone knows the phenomenal personality of Sharp James, God bless him, he would walk up to you and say, so why are you washing down walls in City Hall? I said, sir, I have a job with the Speedy Program. He said, tell me about the Speedy Program. And I said, well, it's an incredible program because it allows me to aid and assist my mother and my siblings with finances over the summer. He says, but what do you want to do with your life? I said, sir, I want to be a fashion designer.
Oh, okay.
He said, really? A fashion designer? I said, oh, I want to be a fashion designer. I design clothes, I work, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, show me something that you've designed. I said, sir, I don't have nothing on me. I have nothing but a washcloth and a pail and a bucket. He says, so I tell you what, young man, come to my office tomorrow and bring me something that you made. That's what I did.
Wow.
He said, you made this? I said, yes, sir, I made this. So he says, okay, no more washing walls down. I'm going to give you a job as a city employee. You're going to be working in the mayor's policy and development office.
Wow.
And we called it MPDO. I started out in the Xerox room. All I did was Xerox.
Right.
But I'm 17 years old and now I'm making $26,000 a year. That $26,000 a year was like $100,000 to my family.
Right.
I'm about in the 10th grade and I started to do fashion shows, fundraisers. I understood of my talent. I knew that my talent was outstanding, not being braggadocious. But I knew that it was outstanding and people would really like it. And I began to do these fashion shows. Did a bunch of fashion shows. And then there was this horrible epidemic called HIV and AIDS. And I had a really serious problem with it because I grew up in the city of Newark.
Right.
And it was a city that absolutely was a marginalized city that did not understand anything but what was in front of them.
Right.
Nobody wanted to understand where the disease AIDS came from, equally where HIV came from.
Right.
And I was missing so many of my friends that was dying from one corner to another corner of the world.
Right.
And I wanted to do fashion shows, and I did fashion shows to raise not just dollars and cents for the victims, but the awareness of what was HIV and AIDS. I wanted people to understand, particularly in my community, this is how you get it, because when it first came out, it was like, oh, Black people brought it over, ba-da-da-da-da. No, let's clear all the rumors and let's get to the nitty-gritty.
Right.
And the nitty-gritty was making young people understand how you get AIDS, how you get HIV.
Right.
So I began to do these fashion shows. And I remember one fashion show that I did was outstanding. I brought in all the entertainers that I've worked with. I brought in Heavy D, Carl Payne, who used to play Cockroach on the Cosby Show, and then Martin Sybil, who was a singer, Susan Taylor, the former editor of Essence Magazine, Antonia Vargas, who played Huggy Bear. And I said, before they get into this room, it was a two-parter. Before these kids get into this room, I had 38 desks lined up at the Robert Treat Hotel in Newark, New Jersey.
Wow.
Where these kids had to get pamphlets, brochures, and learn about this disease.
Right.
And we gave them 1 hour. It was 2,000 kids. We gave them 1 hour to absorb and understand what it was all about. We allowed them in and we did a fashion show. My whole thing is, in this community, in this world, we have such a misconception of life, an alternative life. And I want people to understand that we all are God's children.
Absolutely.
Whatever you choose to live and however you choose to live your life, that's on you and God.
That's right.
We should not have to close the door to something that we don't understand. That has been my plight all of my life. To educate, stimulate, motivate people, all people, black, white, yellow, I don't care what color you are. You need to have an understanding of what it takes to live a life and to live within communities where there's rejection, where there's embarrassment, where there's judgment.
Right.
I want people to understand we all are God's children.
Absolutely.
Thus, I continue to do these fashion shows. And I guess my break, if one wanted to know what my break was.
But we'll get to the breaking point on the other side of this break. So really quickly, so now so obviously you started doing these fashion shows to bring awareness, and I remember, I wrote a paper about it in elementary school, and it said it was all about AIDS, and I used that paper to explain COVID to people during COVID when I was doing my show, the self-quarantine show from home, when everybody was locked up home, explaining to them like, don't listen to none of the information now. This is the learning process. This is where people are going to be getting it wrong and they're just finding out. There's the testing that has to be done, all of these kinds of things, and trial and all of that kind of stuff, or what have you. What made you, because I was a kid and it affected me in a way to where I knew I had to do something, which is why I wrote the paper, and everybody in my school looked at me like I was crazy for writing this paper. What was your call to action? Was it the fact that you were losing people? Was it, you're a humanitarian, or a combination of all of the above?
I think it's a combination of everything, Ty, but I think more importantly, people who have brought me up through the fashion industry, I was losing.
Right.
I was talking to them on the phone one day, and the next day somebody called me and said, "Oh, Angelo, they died yesterday."
Right.
Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Right.
I started to lose so many of my friends. I started to go to more funerals than anything underneath the sun.
Right.
So it becomes a concern of mine to understand, why is this happening?
Right.
In America, the country, the home of the brave, and all that other that comes along with it. That is the richest country in the world. Why is this happening?
Right. And
I was just very puzzled. I wanted to find out who, what, when, where, and why is it happening. Wow. And if I can't find out why it's happening, I want to find out how we had resolved to it.
Right.
How can you resolve this epidemic? And I thought it was no more for me and other people to become aware of how you get it to protect the innocents.
Absolutely.
It was really important for me, just like with COVID, it was really important that you are able to protect the innocent.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think a lot of times our doctors and our scientists come up with these crazy remedies, and it's not really happening.
Right.
It wasn't until there was a white man by the name of Rock Hudson that black people, white people, like a bag of M&Ms, assorted people, find that this disease was one that was actually killing, not until he died. That everyone want to join forces and come together to fight the cause.
I wrote about that in a movie that I wrote, a short film called Black Fruits Matter, and I talked about Elizabeth Taylor not becoming a part of the fight until Rock Hudson. It was actually one of the lines that I used.
Exactly.
So interesting that you talked about that and whatnot. So on the other side of the break, we're going to talk about some of those names that you brought up that came to the event and the rise of Angelo Ellerbee. So we'll be back in 5.321. Thank you to our guest, and he'll be back in a second on Party 101.9 iHeart Radio, the Matrix Studio. This is a Fashion Moment with Tai Chunn. I'm your boy Tai Chunn, and I'm here with Angelo Ellerbee.
You found the new Party 101.9, New York's #1 for throwbacks.
I'm your boy Tai Chunn, and this is a Fashion Moment with Tai Chunn, with a word from one of our sponsors, Eridar Printing. Enhance your brand with Eridar Printing, your premier Black-owned printing partner. From high-end clients like Christian Louboutin to custom magazines and billboards, they've got you covered. Make your vision a reality with Eridar Printing. I'm Tai Chunn, and you're listening to A Fashion Moment with Tai Chunn. Garçon, bring me another bottle. Welcome back to A Fashion Moment with Tai Chunn. I am your boy Tai Chunn, and we are here with the most talented and gifted and legendary Angelo Ellerbee. So Angelo, we were talking about the fashion shows you did and bringing awareness to HIV/AIDS, and you brought up some names of some folks who was a part of the show, who used to come through or whatever. So I want to kind of go into from those fashion shows, you brought up those names. Were you already working in the industry at that point? Because it kind of went from you working washing the walls at City Hall, then the mayor kind of giving you your break. You're making $26,000 to take care of your family. And then we went into these fashion shows and the awareness because he felt that you were a designer and what have you. And I think that there was something in between.
Sure. Right? The in-between factor was that I hustled.
Right.
I was a hustler. My mother allowed me to hustle my life. Hustle. It's so important that we understand the importance of being a contributor.
Right.
And in our Black families, we all had to contribute to something.
Absolutely.
And that was that table. My mother would say, if you sit down at this table and eat my food, you must contribute to this table in order to eat this food. Mm-hmm. No matter how old you were or how young you were, you had to contribute. Mm-hmm. So
it's funny that you say that. I'm sorry for cutting you off, because I always say to my interns and everybody who don't have the mamas and the papas and the aunties and all of that kind of stuff in all of those generations in the household to understand that, or whatever. I told them that you can find that now globally and stuff like that, starting with me or whatever and everything like that. So I love the fact that you brought that up, because that's something that I instill in them and in my audience about us not having that, generational understanding and love. And I even talk about how the elders and the youth all brought up the end. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had a job to do. Everybody was important to the family. Apologies for interrupting.
No. It's, the thing for me, and I used to think my mother was the wickedest witch from north, south, east, and west, because she made sure that every one of us had a responsibility to the house.
Right.
I never knew I was poor. Mm-hmm. Because she was a survivor. Mm-hmm. And she instilled that in her children.
Right.
While I thought she was just a wicked woman, she was giving me my survival tools.
Yes.
She was saying to me, I don't know if I'm here today or tomorrow, but all of y'all gonna know how to survive.
Absolutely.
And so in surviving, she said, I'm not buying you no sneakers. You want sneakers? Go hustle. And if you get half of the money, I'll give you the other half. You don't get half, you'll walk around barefooted. And so back in that day and time, there were stores, grocery stores, that you can go to and bag up people's groceries.
Mm-hmm.
And you carry them to the car, and they would give you 50 cents, or they would give you $1. And if you walk with them home, they'll give you $2.
Right.
That was my hustle.
Right.
My hustle was not just bagging up those bags, but working in a meat factory, 4 blocks from my house, bagging up things, working on the cash register. And across the street, my mother worked as a waitress.
Wow.
And my job was to go inside of there and wash those dishes and get that get that $1.25 a day by this Jewish lady.
Wow.
So I was grounded to understand that these were not the things that I ever wanted to do in my life.
Right. So that hustle brought you to where now? To where as you're doing these fashion shows.
All of this brought me to the nurturing of understanding that I had to put my hustle on. And while I design clothes, I need to take my design ability and let the world know about what I do.
Right.
And so I would go, I remember saving up enough money. There was a club in Newark called Mr. Wonderful. I gotta know, I'm 15 years old at this point. And I'm doing whatever I can do. And I've always had a method of articulating and a vocabulary. But I would go and talk to these people about renting out their clubs. They thought I was older than what I was.
Right.
So I rented out the club. It was a club that set 500 people. I pulled together the envision in my mind and then executed it. I had the first fashion show.
Okay.
My mother, my sisters and brothers came out. They didn't believe me and they were blown away. There was 500 people inside of there and they saw the money that I was bringing home. So in doing that, I kept continuing to do that. I did that, and I did that. But I really wanted to model. But I was so thin in the US, I couldn't work.
Right.
So at 17 years old, I asked my mom if I can go to Paris. And my mother looked at me, she said, "Are you foolish? Are you crazy? And where you go get the money to go to Paris?" I said, "Mama, I'm gonna hustle the money and get the money." She said, "If you get the money together, you could go. But you got one emergency phone call. After that, survive." That was my mother.
That's excellent. Let's talk about that survival on the next break when we come back, about that survival instinct, and start to bring us up into when you we'll start back at Paris, but then we'll move a little bit more rapidly into your moving into your purpose in your career. So we'll take a break right here. This is your boy Tai Chunn. This is a fashion moment with Tai Chunn on Party 101.9 iHeart Radio, the Matrix Studio. Guys, don't forget to get your printing needs done with our sponsor, Aridar Printing, and also our wonderful sponsor, Howard Cosmetics, for all your beauty needs. And get your Tai Chunn brand collection. Go to www.taicunn.com and get some Tai Chunn wear, or get your AFM magazine. And we have it quarterly print and bi-weekly digital. We will be back in 5.321 with the fabulous Angelo Ellerbee. See you sooner than later.
You found the new Party 101.9, New York's #1 for throwbacks.
Chilling here with Tai Chung. Come on, everyone. Are you chilling with us? I'm Barbara Tucker. I'm chilling with Tai Chung.
This is your boy Tai Chunn on A Fashion Moment with Tai Chunn. And here's a word from one of our sponsors, Howard Cosmetics. Elevate your beauty routine with Howard Cosmetics, your premier Black-owned beauty brand. Founded by actress, model, and beauty expert Hawa Abdul. Their luxurious products are designed to enhance your natural radiance and empower you to feel confident and beautiful. Experience the transformative power of Hawa Cosmetics today. I'm Tai Chunn, and you're listening to A Fashion Moment with Tai Chunn. Garçon, bring me another bottle. Welcome back to A Fashion Moment with Tai Chunn. I am your boy Tai Chunn, and we are here with the legendary Angelo Ellerbee. And he has been dropping knowledge and talking about community and responsibility and just all of the things that I always talk to you guys about, and building community and all of that. When we left off, we were going to Paris. Let's go to Paris. We're in Paris. What happens?
What happens in Paris is that I was a starving model.
Wow.
There was a young lady, I love her dearly to this day. We remain great friends. We were in high school together, and you got to remember, I was 17 years old then.
Right.
And I said, Karen, I need to get my comp card done.
Right.
So we did a photo shoot, and the pictures came out so horrible. I looked nothing like the pictures. Big old bump coming out on one side of my face, the whole other bit, but we did it. And so I went to Paris, and I met this wonderful girl who took excellent care of me, Deborah, because I didn't speak French at all.
Right.
And she said, Angelo, you ain't gonna be around me 24 hours out of the day. You gotta go get a book, and you gotta blah, blah, blah. So I stayed in a hotel that I paid like maybe $100 a week or something. It was really a tenement hotel.
Right.
There was nothing posh about it. It was a tenement. It was a bed.
Right.
And so I wasn't working at all. So I had to go to work, and I went to work cutting up chicken, frying chicken, and collard greens.
Really? In Paris?
I did that. It was the first soul food restaurant. And I went in there because I was running out of money. All I raised was $2,000.
Right.
And I was only going to be there for a month.
And you only had that one emergency call?
And I wasn't calling my mother because I didn't want to hear a drama. I didn't want to hear volume. I didn't want to hear the drama. So this photographer came into the restaurant one day after I was serving him, because I was the cook and the waiter as well. And he said, you came all the way over here from America to cook fried chicken and collard greens? I said, sir, no, I didn't. He said, what did you come here to do? And I said, I came to model. He said, let me see your book. So I went back in the back and got my book. He said, so who is this I'm looking at? I said, you're looking at me. He said, oh my God, no wonder you're not working. And he looked at me and he says, you look nothing like these pictures. And
Right.
I said, oh, okay. He said, I'm going to invest in you. I'm going to take some new photographs of you, and I'm going to send it to a couple of agencies.
Right.
And he sent it to this agency, and they wanted to see me. And I was like, they wanted to see me. They wanted to see me. And I was telling my friend Deborah, they wanted to see me. They wanted to see me. So she said, Angelo, chill out and go and see what they're talking about.
Right.
And I went, and they adored me, and I started to work. I was doing all the pret-a-porters, all the fashion shows. I was making about $125 an hour. Back then in those days, there was no taxes on your money.
Right.
I grossed a lot of money, and I started to send my mother this money. And my mother called me one day and said, where you getting this money from, boy? You better not be over there selling no damn drugs. I said, Mama, I'm working. She said, what do you mean you work? I said, Mama, I'm modeling. She said, I'm telling you right now, if this is dirty money, I'm going to throw it in the garbage. Mama, I'm working. So I wound up staying, what was supposed to be a month stay, I stayed 2 years.
Wow.
And I worked until I got my own apartment and I started to do my own thing. It was a challenge, but it was really, really a challenge. But I also believe very much, man, that it's all about what you want out of life.
Absolutely.
If you want this, if you think it, then you can do it.
That's right.
And if you do it, it can get done.
That's right.
And my whole thing is what I express to everybody. Do you. Be original. Don't be afraid of nothing. Do you. And so that has been my premise all of my life. So now after 2 years, I come back, I kiss the soul, the ground. I literally kiss the ground of JFK Airport. Back then, you would get off in the airport, right at the ground side.
Right.
And I came back, and my sisters and I was able to buy a house for my mother.
Really?
I was making money. I was making money. And I think I must have came back with maybe $40,000 or $60,000.
Mm-hmm.
My mother always wanted this house, and we got the house for my mother. She lived in that house. We provided. It was all about the contribution she instilled inside of me.
I love that.
You got to be a contributor. And if she sacrificed her life for her 6 or 7 kids, then we needed to sacrifice partials of our life to give back to her. And that's always been my goal.
Wow. That is an amazing, amazing story and an amazing testament to you as not only a son, but as a human being. I can only imagine what you poured into your talent that you worked with. Just hearing this story puts chills down my spine, and I'm just like so inspired by you and so enamored and just and speechless, which I'm very rarely speechless. And I knew, my spirit told me that this interview cannot just be a one-off. It had to be a 3-part series. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here for the first time in a fashion moment with Tai Chunn history. This story is going to be a 3-part series. This is just volume 1. On tomorrow, Wednesday, we will have volume 2, and then on Friday we will have the finale. And not even the finale, that is just the beginning of what's new on Friday in part 3. So when we go out on this break, we're going to hear some sounds, and we're going to come back, and we're going to have our final thoughts, and then we will see you on Wednesday. Talk to you sooner than later. This is a Fashion Moment with Tai Chunn. You guys tune back in to hear these final thoughts for today, and prepare to come in again tomorrow at 10 a.m. to hear part 2. Party 101.9 iHeart Radio, the Matrix Studio. My story in fashion doesn't begin with the Tai Chunn brand, and it doesn't end there. When I created the Tai Chunn brand, my first objective was high-end at affordable prices. It was important for me to be able to design a generationless brand. So world, Tai Chunn brand is my love letter to you. Luxurious, affordable clothing, footwear, and accessories. Tai Chunn brand. I'm Tai Chunn, and you're listening to A Fashion Moment with Tai Chunn. Garçon, bring me another bottle. Welcome back to A Fashion Moment with Tai Chunn. I am your boy Tai Chunn, and this is Party 101.9 iHeart Radio, the Matrix Studio. We have the fabulous Angelo Ellerbee in the building. And when I tell you, he is an orator and knows how to captivate and tell a story. I mean, I felt like I was watching a Lifetime movie. I'm telling you, I just was like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? I loved it. And then the way that you describe your mom, I love her. This is the part of the show in which, and also guys, if you're just joining in, this is just part 1 of a 3-part series. We'll be doing the next one on tomorrow, on Wednesday, and then the final one on Friday. So you'll be able to catch up into and check out what this legend has to say. And then also, you can go on to all of my social media pages to catch up on recaps. Join the YouTube page to see the video footage, and subscribe. And you can also go to Spotify and anywhere where you can hear radio shows and broadcasts to hear the reboot of this wonderful, extravagant gentleman's interview and life story. So at this point in the show, Angelo, we do final thoughts. And final thoughts are shout outs. It's leaving people with something inspirational. It's whatever it is that you want it to be. And we do it every show. So here's your chance for your final thoughts for this Tuesday morning.
My final thoughts is to fall romantically in love with you. You cannot love anyone else until you start to love you.
Right.
Be original. Be yourself. Live for yourself. Don't live for others. I love me some Angelo Ellerbee.
I love
and I want you to begin to love you so that you can teach people how to love you.
I love it. I love me some Angelo Ellerbee too. Now, see, that's a tough act to follow. So I'm gonna yield my final thoughts until the next time because I refuse to try to come after that. Guys, I'll see you on tomorrow, 10 a.m. This is a Fashion Moment with Tai Chunn. I am your boy Tai Chunn. Don't buy any wooden nickels and live a flea-free life.